This is another lesson for the new assessment format for SPM for the year 2021. So this is for English paper, which is reading, and the code is 1119/1. First, let's look at the format for paper 1. So paper 1 is reading paper. So the type of instrument is reading and use of English. And the type of item, they are objective, multiple choices, objective of various forms, and subjective, limited responses. Number of questions, there are altogether 5 parts. Part 1, 8 questions, 8 marks. Part 2, 10 questions, 10 marks. Part 3, 8 questions, 8 marks. Part 4, 6 questions, 6 marks. And Part 5, 8 questions, 8 marks. Total marks 40, weightage is 25%. Out of the 4 papers for next year. Construct, so there are reading skills, comprehension, application, analysis, evaluation, knowledge of the language, system, and values. So the duration is 1 hour 30 minutes. So let's look at the sample items for the reading paper. Code is 1119/1. Part 1, question 1 to 8. Read the text carefully in each question. Choose the best answer A, B or C. For each question, mark the correct answer A, B or C on your answer sheet. So this is the text. Tea is a work of art and requires a master to draw out its best qualities, claims Okakura in his famous book of tea. We at the Good Morning Tea Company follow that same tradition, allowing tea drinkers to appreciate the art of tea in its purest form. With characteristics of the finest Highland teas, our latest tea has been perfected. So, number 1, the purpose of the advertisement is A, to introduce a new tea product, B, to tell consumers how to identify good tea, C, to improve the sales of tea from the Highlands. So remember that you have to look at the key words. So the keyword is latest tea. So the purpose of the advertisement is to introduce a new tea product. So the answer is A. Now let's look at question number 2. The National Science Challenge registration now open. Calling all Form 4 students. The National Science Challenge is a fantastic chance to show your science skills. The 4 teams which make it to the final stage will compete in activities that will challenge them to solve problems. The champions will get the chance to go to the prestigious Nobel Prize Award ceremony in Stockholm. The second placed team will go on a short study tour in Tokyo. So question, which statement is true about the National Science Challenge? A, the final 4 teams will go against each other. B, it is an individual event involving various activities. C, winners will get an award at the Nobel Prize Award ceremony. So the keywords are 4 teams. Okay, will make it to the final stage, will compete in activities that will challenge them to solve the problems. So the answer is A. Now for question 3, launching in February, customer notice. Free rides on the new Sungai Buloh Kajang train line are available starting from 4 p.m. until 11 p.m. on 14 February to celebrate its launch. Until 31st March, passengers will also be able to enjoy a 50% discount on this line, plus the same discount on bus services from all train stations. So number 3, which of the following is true about the notice? Free train rides are available throughout the launch day. B, free bus ride will be provided at all train stations. C, passengers have to pay normal fare after March. So let's look at the keywords. The keyword is until 31st March. Passengers will be able to enjoy 50% discount on this line. So the answer is after March. C, they have to pay normal fare. Next, for question 4, Sunrise Theme Park Merdeka Day voucher. www.sunrisethemepark.com. Get a RM25 reduction on ticket prices with this voucher. Tickets available at the ticket office or online. Terms and conditions. Minimum purchase of 12 tickets. Valid every day except public holidays. Available to Malaysians only. Offer ends on 31st May. Voucher code CU-1231. Okay, question 4. Which of the following is true? The voucher can be used by everyone visiting the park. B. The tickets can only be purchased using the voucher code. C. The discount is available to locals buying a dozen tickets or more. So let's look at the keywords. Minimum purchase of 12 tickets, available to Malaysians only. So the answer is definitely C. Now let's look at question 5. Attention all students. Do you have what it takes to be a team player? Make our school proud. Join us in a 5 km race. My Malaysia Relay Run. When? 30th June, 7:30 AM. Certificates will be given to all runners. Compulsory training from 2nd June to 28th June. Want to join? See Kumar of 5 Dahlia after the assembly. Question 5. The notice for students says that students A. Students can represent the school individually. B. Participants need to undergo coaching. C. Anyone interested should speak to a member of staff. So let's look at the keywords. Compulsory training from 2nd June to 28th June. Okay, so the answer is definitely B. Next, we have question 6. Nick, I'm already here. Sorry, Julie. Give me 10 minutes. Traffic is terrible. I know. I only got here 5 minutes ago. I'll wait. The movie starts in 5 minutes though. Why don't you go in first? You have your ticket, right? Or we catch the next show? It's fine. I'll get snacks. The adverts usually take 10 minutes anyway. Okay. Question 6. Which of the following statements is true? A. Julie and Nick are both affected by the traffic. B. Julie will get the tickets while waiting for Nick. C. Julie and Nick decide to watch a later movie. So let's look at the keywords. The keywords are: sorry Julie, give me 10 minutes. Traffic is terrible. Then I know I only got here 5 minutes ago. So definitely the answer is A. Now, question 7. We are hiring sales managers. We are a growing international retail business based in London with branches in Paris, Seoul and Singapore, and we are now opening in Kuala Lumpur. Requirements: degree in marketing or related fields, minimum 2 years retail experience, able to work on shift. This is an excellent opportunity to join a company with big plans to expand right across Malaysia. Send your CV to globalretail@mymail.com. Closing date 1st September. Question 7. Which of the following statements is true? A. There are job vacancies in various locations. B. Fresh graduates can apply for the positions. C. The company will open more branches. So let's look at the keywords. Big plans to expand right across Malaysia. So the answer is definitely C. Next, for question 8. Kuala Terengganu. Schools in the area have been given the green light by the Terengganu Education Department to delay schooling hours or cancel classes if the Air Pollution Index (API) reaches an unhealthy level following fires in a nearby forest. Its director said the heads of the affected schools have the authority to make the decision. What is most important is the health of the students, he told the press today. So question 8. Which of the following statements is true? A. All schools have been ordered to delay schooling hours. B. The air pollution index is at an unhealthy level. C. The school principals can choose to cancel classes. So let's look at the keywords. The head of the affected schools have the authority to make the decision. So the answer is definitely C. For question 9 to 18, read the text below and choose the best word for each space. For each question, mark the correct letter A, B, C or D on your answer sheet. Okay, let's get the text. The pangolin. The pangolin, often referred to as an anteater, is an animal usually found in Asia. So number 9, it is sometimes mistaken to be a reptile. It is in fact a mammal. Perhaps the most surprising and disappointing thing about the pangolin is that it is the world's most traded animal. Some estimates 11 that sales of pangolin now account up to 20% of the entire wildlife black market. The demand for pangolins comes mostly from China, where pangolin scales are thought to be a 12 for many health problems, yet there is no evidence to support this. There are 8 types of pangolin in the world. Generally, the scales on their skin 13-20% of the pangolin's body weight. Pangolins can 14 about 20,000 ants a day, or more than 70 million ants a year. An adult pangolin tongue is over 40 centimeters longer than the length of its 15 body. Being solitary creatures, they meet only to find a partner and produce 16, 1 and 3 young ones. Baby pangolins, which have a soft skin at first, are raised over a 2-year period. When the pangolin senses 17, it curls itself up into a ball. It will protect its face by hiding it under its tail. The 3rd Saturday of February each year is now World Pangolin Day, and there is a growing effort to 18 awareness about saving these endangered creatures. It is hoped that the future generations can benefit from this effort. So, what are the answers? Okay, let's look at the answers. Number 9 is although. Number 10 is fact. Number 11 is suggest. Number 12 is cure. Number 13 is contribute to. Number 14 is consume. Number 15 is entire. Number 16 is between. Number 17 is danger. And number 18 is create. Now for part 3, you are going to read an extract from an article. For question 19 to 26, choose the correct answer A, B, C or D and mark the correct letter A, B or C or D on your answer sheet. Okay, let's look at the extract from the article. Looking back on my childhood, I remember sitting in our small kitchen watching my mother cooking. We were living in Ipoh, Perak. I was then 6 years old. My parents, my sister, my 2 brothers and I all lived together in an old wooden hut. Dad struggled to make a living in his coffee shop. Mom had to worry about our daily bread. Our kitchen was simple. An earthen stove blackened by smoke forever greeted us with its round mouth. Mom would start her busy daily routine in the kitchen, while I would be sitting happily watching her in action. She would sit on a low stool in the kitchen and chop the wood with a clumsy axe. She would place the chopped wood under the stove and set them alight. As the wood burned, the food she cooked gave off a delicious aroma. Times were hard, so my mother could only afford to make us ordinary dishes, such as vegetables with dried shrimp and fried eggs. But for me, sitting at that old wooden table with the whole family and gobbling up the steamy rice and the simple food was very much satisfying. Once in a while, Mom cooked her favorite dish of steamed chicken, and that would be a big occasion indeed. By nature, she was a clean and tidy woman, but sitting by the fire at such moments, her hair would be messy, forehead beaded with sweat, and her cheeks covered in grey ash. But her large eyes shone with a beauty only a mother can have. These wonderful meals Mom labored so hard to prepare helped brighten our lives even as poverty and hard times weighed us down. When I was 8, My whole family moved south to Singapore. Life did not improve much as all 6 of us were forced to huddle in a rented room. Life conditions were really difficult. Mom just kept quiet and she preferred to stick with her family behind closed doors. And when she had to stir out of the room, she would go her own way, minding her own business. She was determined not to let the crowded condition prevent her from feeding her family properly. Now Mom would cook using coal instead of firewood. Mom had to buy the coal from the shop and carry it home. The process of cooking using it was even harder, but it did not stop Mom from giving the best to her family. I'm sure she had much to worry about, though she did not share her fears with us. Dad worked very hard and was out day and night. Mom would cook, share the meal with us and keep a portion for Dad. Then she quickly put out the fire to reuse the coal. Returning home late in the evening, Dad was tired and hungry, but he would swallow down his cold dinner with no complaint. He understood that coal was expensive. During our first 2 years in Singapore, life was a struggle, but slowly our fortunes improved. When I was 10 years old, we finally moved into a new apartment. We now had a large kitchen and most importantly a gas stove. For Mom, all those years of chopping firewood and carrying coal home were over. The spontaneous rush of gas which now burst forth at the turn of the knob must have come as a great relief. Cooking became so much more enjoyable that she bought any new recipe books and tried them all. Working by the gas stove, she no longer seemed distracted by distant thoughts, although she still missed her precious kitchen. Mom looked even happier when Dad started to help out in the kitchen. Dad even accompanied her on shopping sprees. Meals, which had once been a source of comfort, now became one of joy. In the years that followed, grey hair had slowly appeared on my parents' heads, and so had a sense of contentment with their lives. They now live in a good-sized apartment, and the kitchen is equipped with a gas stove, an oven, and a microwave, all conveniences that once seemed so impossible. Sitting on the balcony amidst the gorgeous flowers, they enjoy peace after those difficult years. For question 19, in paragraph 2, why does the writer use the phrase happily watching her in action? So look at the sentences. I would be sitting happily watching her in action. She would sit on a low stove in the kitchen and chop the wood with a clumsy axe. She would place the chopped wood under the stove and set them alight. As the wood burnt, the food cooked. She could give off a delicious aroma. So answer A, B, C, D. A. She enjoyed being of help to her mother. B. She felt contented to be with her mother. C. She admired her mother's cooking skill. D. She found her mother's routine amazing. So the answer will be C. She admired her mother's cooking skills. Question 20. In paragraph 3, what does the writer say about her mother's character? So paragraph 3. Let's look at the answer. But her large eyes shone with a beauty only a mother can have. These wonderful meals Mom labored so hard to prepare helped brighten our life even as poverty and hard times weighed us down. So the options will be A. She was discouraged by the economic hardship faced by the family. She was conscious of the way she looked when she was cooking. She was concerned about what the future holds for her children. She was determined to put food on the table for everyone. So the answer will be D. Okay, let's look at 21. In paragraph 4, how did the writer describe their new life in Singapore? So new life in Singapore will be, when I was 8, our whole family moved south to Singapore. Life did not improve much as all 6 of us were forced to huddle in a rented room. So A, they would not go out much. B, the mother started a business. C, the family had to depend on others. D, they had to live in a cramped place. So answer is D. Okay, let's look at 22. In paragraph 5, what was the proof that their lives changed for the better? Okay, so let's look at paragraph 5. So, when I was 10 years old, we finally moved into a new apartment. So A, it took them 10 years to turn their lives around. They could afford to get a place of their own. C, the family reused the coal to save money. D, the father did not complain anymore. So answer will be, they could afford to get a place of their own. For question 23, what effect did moving to the new apartment have? A, it made mom want to return to their old home. B, it meant that providing food was no longer problematic. C, it encouraged Dad to spend more time with the family. D, it made the writer want to be more involved with the meal preparation. So the answer, we now have a large kitchen and most importantly a gas stove. For Mom, all those years of chopping firewood and carrying coal home were over. So the answer will be, it meant that providing food was no longer problematic. For 24, why had preparing meals become more pleasurable for Mom? So A, buying groceries with Dad was fun. Trying out new recipes gave her joy. Using the gas stove made cooking simpler. Having a bigger area made her work easier. So let's look at the answer. A spontaneous rush of gas which now burst forth at the turn of the knob must have come as a great relief. Cooking became so much more enjoyable. Okay, so the answer will be C, using the gas stove made cooking simpler. Question 25. How does the writer feel about her parents in the last paragraph? A, grateful that they can grow old together. B, relieved that their life has become easier. C, envious of the possessions they now have. D, disappointed that they are not as active as they once were. So let's look at the answer. Sitting on the balcony amidst gorgeous flowers, they enjoy peace after those difficult years. So the answer should be relieved that their life has become easier. So question 26. What is the purpose of the writers writing this article? So A, to share precious memories of her mother. B, to recall how she faced the difficulties in her life. C, to look back at how her dad worked hard for the family. D, to show the beautiful relationship between her and her parents. So the answer is to share precious memories of her mother. Part 4, question 27 to 32. You are going to read an article about a student who went for a leadership camp for the first time. 6 sentences have been removed from the article. Choose from the sentences A to H, the one which fit the each gap 27 to 32. There are 2 extra sentences which you do not need to use. Mark your answers on the separate answer sheet. Okay, let's look at the article. A camp for future leaders. Being a school prefect, I often have to help other students to provide them with an example to follow. I have to be their role model. Last month, for the first time, my school selected me to attend a leadership camp. Unsure of what to expect initially, I left with a real feeling of achievement at the end of the camp. I now know what it takes to be a good leader. The camp activities were creatively designed to motivate and boost our confidence. For example, during the Speak Easy activity, we were encouraged to reveal our secrets and innermost feelings. To our horror, the facilitators made it compulsory for everyone to participate. 27. We had no choice but to build up our courage and speak out. This set the tone for future activities. The next activity was something I had been looking forward to. It was a workshop on how to deal with disciplinary cases in the safest way possible. The hands-on activity taught me how to deal with these sorts of difficult situations. 28. This knowledge is something to be shared with the new prefects in my school. The activity that had the most impact on me dealt with learning not to judge others based on looks or position. 29. This approach is not only useful for me as a prefect but also in everyday life. There were also other enjoyable experiences during my short stint at the camp. 30. But the truth was I occasionally got homesick. Fortunately, the warm and friendly attitudes of the staff put me at ease. I learned how to cope at a camp that felt like home away from home. I was especially impressed with the camp facilitators who led the sessions. They were always approachable and helpful in ensuring that all the activities were fun, apart from giving us practical tips that would be useful in many aspects. 31. This would be an advantage to us not only now but when we step into the working world. The leadership camp is a great way to gain skills necessary for dealing with real-life situations. 32. Credit must be given to the great way the leadership camp was organized. It should be recommended to anyone else who aspires to be a leader. These are the possible answers. A. We should listen to views and ideas of all people. B. Now I'm more confident about addressing problems of behavior with the junior students. C. Everyone who attended noticed a huge change in how they behave and treat people. D. I was pushed out of my comfort zone. E. We learned about time management and how to handle stress effectively. F. I really tried to focus on all the positives. G. I also shared my experience with other leaders. H. Surprisingly, everyone volunteered to go first. These are the answers for part 4. 27 is D. I was pushed out of my comfort zone. 28 is B. Now I'm more confident about addressing problems of behavior with the junior students. 29 is A. We should listen to the views and ideas of all people. 30 is F. I really tried to focus on all the positives. 31 is E. We learned about time management and how to handle stress effectively. And 32 is C. Everyone who attended noticed a huge change in how they behave and treat people. Part 5, question 33 to 40. We interviewed 6 teenagers about what community service means to them. Read the text below and answer the questions that follow. Teens on community service. A. Shah, 16 years old. Opportunities to volunteer are everywhere, even right in our backyard. I started with something that I really believe and have an interest in, joining a project that gives free tuition to little kids from a few poor families in my neighborhood. The experience taught me to be more compassionate. B. Julie, 14 years old. When I was younger, I helped out at a nearby animal shelter. At first, I didn't know many people there and wasn't very enthusiastic. Later, as I got to know the animals and staff members, I learned how to enjoy my time there. And every now and then, I go over to feed the animals and play with them. It is very beneficial and I get new experiences doing things that I've never done before. C. Hope Lim, 17 years old. I go to an old folks home as a volunteer and spend time with the residents there. Sometimes my friends and I go there after school. Listening to the stories about their past experiences has taught us some useful life lessons. Once in a while, we bring along a guitar to entertain them. B. Amelia, 13 years old. Last year, we had a class project where we had to complete 10 hours of community service. So my class decided to help clean up the zoo compound. Although very tiring, I feel that doing this type of community service is rewarding. Jeremy, 15 years old. For as long as I can remember, I have always been involved in community service, going to children's homes with my parents to organize parties, especially on special occasions. The joy on the children's faces never ceases to warm our hearts, and that's what keeps us going back. F. Ida, 17 years old. I wanted to support my local library, so I set up a story corner and read to children on Saturdays. Setting up community projects is very meaningful, no matter how small it may be. Every little step counts. I hope that one day my classmates will join me. Let's look at question 33 to 36. Which paragraph A to F describes the following experience of community service? Mark your answers on the separate answer sheet. Statements. 33. I did not enjoy the work initially. So the answer is B. Let's look at B. The key words are wasn't very enthusiastic. Okay. Question 34. I organized my work by myself. So the answer is F. So the keywords are I set up a story corner. So 35. I sympathize with the unfortunate in my area. So the answer is A. A because I give free tuition to the little kids from a few poor families in my neighborhood. So poor will be the unfortunate. Okay, the last one, 36. I get input to have a better understanding of the world. So answer is C, where you can see here, taught us some useful life lessons. Moving on, questions 37 to 40. Complete the notes below using information from the text. Choose no more than one word from the passage for each answer. Mark your answers on the separate answer sheet. What we know about community service. Those who are interested in working with animals should help out at a answer 37 shelter or zoo. For senior citizens, it is useful to think of ways to 38 entertain them. Helping children is also about making them happy. Celebrating birthdays by having 39 parties is one way to do this. Okay, try not to think too big. Do something that will make the lives of the needy more 40 meaningful and happy. We have come to the end of our lesson for today, and just now we did a lesson on the new format for SPM English language paper, which is the reading paper, and the code is 1119/1. I hope you have gained a lot of information, and then best of luck for your coming exam. That's all for me. Signing off, I'm Madam Gum. Don't forget to subscribe to Educator OmniTube. Bye bye.